So I saw Bunge la Mwananchi chairman, President Gaucho, complaining that the party luminaries, the party leaders had abandoned him at his hour of need. And when it was Maina Njenga going to court, even in Nakuru, he was accompanied by the principals, but he was left to rot together with even the youths who were arrested when the first maandamano happened. I think it was in March. And I need Gaucho and his crew to understand that old people gravitate towards each other. Old people have the same agenda, the same ideology. Number one is they consider young people as cannon fodder in the war of attrition. Your work is to go and be put in the front line. And it didn't start today. It started even in the medieval times, in the historic times. They would send young men to war, and then they are left entertaining and jivinjaring with their wives. So this is not new. As long as you understand that young people, we are in this godforsaken country, that young people, we are hated. They don't like us. They despise us. I've grown up in an environment where, as a young kid, I used to find even old people interested in my business, mostly because they knew I had a different mindset. And so they used to divide and rule us by within our age cluster, and then they tell some people, come here. And then if you want to know that you are on the wrong path, or when you're praised by old bastards, when they start said, and then they have this divisive talk. When they embrace you in their circles, they start telling you, mi nakupenda sana kwa sababu wewe naona uko na akili, ule mwingine marafiki wako hawana akili, wewe ndio tumekuleta hapa. Once they start embracing you in their circles and brainwashing you with such divisive and polarizing rhetoric, no, you are on the wrong path. No, you are on the highway to destruction, because there is nothing good that can come from old bastards. Their mindsets and everything about them is totally is at cross paths to what we aspire to be as young people. They've been brainwashed and breastfed with Moi era propaganda. They used to wake up and with such phrases like education is a key. So many vijana, as we want to hustle and we want to work for the least amount of time, but for the most amount of money. So that model 9 to 5 that they've been trying to pump on you is a lie. Everything, you have to unlearn everything. And this is a simple way of unlearning, is that anyone who has ever told you a lie, something like if the doctors are the ones who told you a lie during COVID and they made you get injections, and now those injections are making you feel some type of way, then you should listen to them less and then listen to healers. There are all these healers and witches who are on TikTok. You start and opening your minds to other healing practices. So if it's who lied to you, if it's your politician, whether he comes from your tribe, train yourselves to distance yourself from that mindset, because these old bastards, we call them the boomers, they've left us with nothing in this fucking country. No hospitals, no roads, no pedestrian walkways, nothing. No street lights. And then they have young people who operate like them, people like Sakaja. You see, Sakaja, you look at him. First of all, did you see there is a Yamune Wanka who was appointed as the head of National Employment Authority? That parastatal apparently was created to create jobs. I mean, how stupid are you? Since when does the government create jobs? It's you incentivize the private sector and then they'll create their jobs naturally. Now, this National Employment Authority has been there, created by none other than Sakaja, because he was pandering to the plenary. He was playing with your minds. He is a student of Uhuru stupidity. So Gaucho, just because once you see old people gassing you up, they're praising you. You'll never see them praising me, because they know me. I don't give a shit about their nonsense. So Gaucho, stop going for old people. Stop regurgitating their bullshit. Stop even plugging them into your conversations. Do what you're doing as Bunge and rise to the highest without their help, because these old bastards want to still maintain dominance in our lives, personal lives, in our businesses. They don't want us to, they have suppressed everything, all the innovation that we could be doing, all the jobs that we could be creating. They now even, they are sending us to go and die in Middle East and other places looking for jobs. Yeah. And by the way, I was thinking, like, yesterday I saw Netherlands is now changing their immigration laws. They want immigrants. I mean, Kenyans now, why don't we, do we have the mindset that we must go to another country? Why can't we stay and fix our politics? The civic education that we've been doing is a good start. Talking about the finance bill and the warped priorities of Kenya UA. So why must you? These guys are only changing their immigration laws because they need numbers, because in their infinite stupidity, they listened to the woke agenda. They embraced depopulation by Bill Gates and whatever, family planning, I don't know what, and then they brought radical feminists who have distorted the home unit. Nobody wants to get married anymore because you're looking at this shit show. I'm gonna divorce with this person, and then afterwards, they're gonna take half of my shit which I've earned. Yeah, so nobody is is interested in marriage. So now their populations have gone low, and then suddenly now we need immigrants to come and generate taxes to pay for their retirees. No, why don't we say no to these for once and say let's not be used by them, because they only using us now, and then afterwards they will revert to factory settings. Their institutionalized racism. Yeah. So moving on, and speaking of Muzungu bastards, look, this finance bill and IMF are the ones who have crafted this budget because they want to give money. And don't think it's a lot of money. We are talking about 160 billion. Staff level agreement. Get the media jacking themselves off. Jacking themselves off to certain 160 billion. Meanwhile, Jimmy Wanjigi made a presentation that there is 6 trillion shillings that Uhuru is saying that is a loan, appropriated in our name, but it's not. There is nothing to show, because loans are borrowed based on a project. Like you cannot be given a loan just to spend money by a bank. It has to be attached to a project or something, an acquisition. They can give you a car loan, a house loan, a mortgage, something of the sort. They can't just throw money at you. So in the same light, we have 5 to 6 trillion shillings, which is money which has not been attached to any project, but is highlighted as a loan. And that's why you saw IMF, they give this money, and other people, they give this money knowingly that the bastards they are giving in government, they will squander it. And then they can exert some form of control. And then they can influence the policies mostly going to suppress indigenous companies, suppress innovation, suppress anything that, sell the parastatals. You saw that's how Kenya UA immediately started, Dindi Nyoro immediately. It's Muzungus who have an interest in those parastatals. I keep on saying Thika Power, one of the primary shareholders is International Finance Corporation, the lending arm of the World Bank, or the commercial arm of the World Bank. And that Thika Power does not generate any electricity, and they are paid. So if you want to flip this conversation, if you want all of these nonsense and shenanigans to end in the budget, switch the conversation and now start talking about land. And don't just talk about land, talk about the land that is owned by Muzungu bastards masquerading as conservationists. Then you will see things will move fast, because now Kenya is a colonial outpost. These Muzungus are the ones who are running the show. You'll see, like the US ambassador Meg Whitman, it's almost like now she has a desk in State House. She doesn't speak to civil society. She doesn't speak to journalists. Her work is just to bring mercenary brokers to State House. Every week, she's bringing a new consignment, a fresh consignment of mercenary investors masquerading as investors, but they're just here to extract, to exploit our economy. They're not here to add any particular value. So flip the conversation and talk about land. Talk about tell these people you don't want the houses, you don't want the flats, you want the land that is owned, that is in the hands of Muzungu bastards masquerading as conservationists. And then you'll see how IMF will move quickly to protect their people.